Hello, stakeholders at Airbnb. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. I'm excited to be with you to present to you our Happy Host Program proposal that I think will help solve a lot of potential problems for our campaign. As you know, as an operations manager for 24/7 and the relationship that we've developed with Airbnb, I've been able to recognize some opportunities that will help not only the user and customer experience, but also help Airbnb in the bottom line and overall perspective on what we're trying to accomplish as a company. So, really excited to see what you guys have as far, in regards as input into our proposal. And let's get an opportunity to jump right in. So, just to give you a quick heads up, we're going to talk about an idea of what Airbnb represents, and how that fits into what this Happy Host program does. And what we're going to do is we're going to tackle two problems. We're going to first of all talk about the Happy Host initiative and how we can roll out the Happy Host initiative effectively. So we'll do that through an introduction of the idea, talk about the actual opportunity that we're going to approach, the benefits and risks associated with this approach, and how we will actually roll it out, the call to action associated with it. Excuse me. Really like this quote, and I think it was a good opportunity to embody what we were looking to do at Airbnb, and understanding that hospitality is not to change people, but to offer them space where change can take place. The idea of everyone belonging that Airbnb has adopted as of late has really caught fire, and the culture that is not only evident inside the company but outside the company is one that I think will help propel this brand and the shared economy for years to come. So an idea of what we're proposing. As you guys know, the relationship between guest and host can be interesting to say the least. And what I found as a long-term employee is that a lot of the trip experience issues that we receive and phone calls that we receive are due to a lack of education. And it really should not be surprising, I think, in some respects, because what we're trying to do is create a worldwide brand and somehow define what hospitality is. So, how can we define hospitality on a worldwide scale? What does hospitality mean to someone in Austin, Texas? It's going to be something completely different to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Hospitality is 100% perspective, and it's in the eye of the beholder on what is going to be hospitable, what's going to be clean, what's going to be acceptable, and what's going to be not. The illustration you see here is a prime example of the phone calls that we receive in Trip Experience, right? Guest comes in and expects a bathroom to be clean, right? This is the exact same bathroom. To the left, it's a little unorganized, a little helter-skelter. Remember that an absolute stranger is now going to cohabitate and use this bathroom. They're walking in where someone else's toothbrush is, where their lotions and personal belongings are. Over to the right is the exact same thing, but it's just compartmentalized. And how is this perceived by the guest? What are the expectations for the host? How do we know what standards do we set? And I think a lot of those questions are going to be really difficult to answer without a protocol. And this is why our proposal is to roll out what's known as the Happy Host, the Host Assurance and Preparation Initiative. And what this program is going to do is it's going to give hosts an opportunity to learn what our expectations are. The way that it stands right now, anybody in the world who's interested in becoming a host can do so. You simply go through the verification process, load up some pictures, and within a few simple steps, you're ready to become a host. Now, while that's extremely efficient in a lot of ways, it presents a lot of problems in not really setting clear expectations for these guests and hosts. Because in the long run, even though we only receive about 7% of all experiences on Airbnb end up being an issue in trip experience, that still amounts for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of reservations each year where people don't have expectations met. And this program is designed to do that. So we propose that we're going to roll out the HAPI Host program through a learning content management system, or LCMS, which is an online platform where hosts can log in to their regular profile and then roll into this HAPI Host program. And this program will educate the potential host on what the expectations are for the different standards. Okay, so a little more about our HAPI Host program. Right now, Airbnb has the host standards. As you can see, cleanliness, availability, communication, commitment, check-in, and accuracy. Let's pick one, for example, check-in. What is the check-in process supposed to be for a host? What are the expectations of the host? Is the host supposed to be there welcoming each guest? Should they have printed out check-in instructions? Should they have an emergency contact in the event that they're out of town or what have you? There are a bunch of different options, but no one teaches our host how to do that. There needs to be an educational platform to do so. So we propose that this initiative, though it's going to be really robust initially, is going to try to educate our host as much as possible on what their expectations are in all of these categories. And the idea is to combine internal. We'll take our internal employees who know our product, who know the brand. We're going to also take our super hosts who have been doing this for a long time, who have a high reputation on our platform, and combine both of their knowledge bases and figure out how can we educate our new host? How can we bridge the gap between expectations and reality? And the way that we're going to do that, we talked about a couple options to roll out this campaign, and we propose that we're going to roll this out through a learning content management system, or LCMS, online. And we found that it's extremely efficient than some of the alternatives that we'll talk about later. But a host can enroll into the program. We can deliver the training material. Okay. After the training material is delivered, there'll be an opportunity to deliver an assessment for the host to make sure that there's retention and make sure that there's complete understanding at the end. We can track all of their progress worldwide, and we can also report and figure out what areas are there opportunities, where are we having success, not only demographically, but geographically as well. And we really think this is going to be the most efficient way to deliver our HAPI Host program. So the benefits of our HAPI Host initiative is there's going to be a reduced cost, and reduced costs in a lot of different levels. Understanding that education is a need, the LCMS route is going to be the most efficient way to deliver that material. We talked about other options like hosting seminars worldwide, but that's going to be extremely expensive and complicated logistically. So this is going to be a reduced cost in rolling out training material, but also reduced cost for the residuals of the guest who cancels and the unpleasant host who no longer wants to be a part of our platform because they didn't know what to expect. It's an investment that we expect to have huge returns on. Also, it's proven that LCMSs have rapid absorption, which means our hosts are able to retain this information relatively easy and quickly. And we get a huge amount of buy-in from our hosts. Our hosts now don't feel left in dry, like, who's teaching me how to become an Airbnb host? There's a renewed commitment to Airbnb to our users. Now, the risk involved can be something that we need to pay attention to. Hosts like the simple process right now of logging in, putting in some pictures, going through verification, ready to go in a few simple steps. We do run the risk of alienating some hosts who no longer want to go through a required hosting initiative or certification in order to become a host on our platform. We also take the risk of accountability. Any host who goes through the HAPI campaign will receive a badge of recognition to the world on their profile that shows that they've gone through this initiative, just like our superhost. So the idea is that other guests will be able to recognize these hosts who have gone through the initiative, but we also